Until you go against somebody else that you haven't been practicing against all spring, and then during the training camp, I'm excited about this. I'm excited to see where we're at, and I'm excited about the fact that these guys get to go out and display what they worked so hard for, since we got here back in, coaching in December and the rest of us in January. So it's an exciting time, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Just ask you about some of the position battles that have kind of been won, at least for the first week. I want to ask you what you saw from Zach Bullock that gave him the same job.
Well, Zach has probably been the most consistent at the position, and I think that's the biggest thing. Tayshawn has had some injuries, and again, Chris has done a good job, but Zach's probably been the most consistent. I've always talked to my guys, you can't ride the roller coaster. You cannot be up and down. One day good, one day bad. You got to be consistently good, and every day get a little bit better. And he's done a good job of that.
On the depth chart, to see guys like C.J. Gary, Nigel Harris working it too, what have they shown you as young guys that have put themselves on the depth chart?
I think it's really a combination of things. One maybe because somebody ahead of them got injured and they're taking advantage of the opportunity. The other one maybe because the kid's just a heck of a football player, and he's starting to flash some things. And we want to get the best 11 players on the field at all times, and we're going to continue to create competitive situations. Competition breeds success. And so if we can have it at every position, we're going to be pretty good. And, right now we're not quite there yet, but we're getting close.
And Nigel's the one that's kind of flashing for you, you say?
Nigel's flashed. Nigel has flashed, and it's good for him. He's done the same thing on special teams, and that's not to say that he's close to being a starter or anything like that. He's just flashed in our eyes, and he's basically taken advantage of an opportunity.
What do you see from the McNeese State offense? What do they do really well?
I think what they do is they control the game. Even though it's not a power running team, last year they were very balanced in their rush and passing attack. It may change this year. They've lost some guys up front. The one thing, though, that's consistent, and again, you hear that word, is the quarterback. The quarterback makes excellent decisions in the passing game. He controls the run game very well. So, again, we got our hands full, and they've got very good skilled position players. And, so we're going to have to bring our A game and be ready to compete with some speed, some athleticism on the edge, and really, we've got to bring our A game, and we've got our hands full.
Do you know which true freshman you go into Saturday expecting to play?
Say that again?
Which true freshmen, which kids that are newcomers this fall, do you expect to play?
And it's a good question, but really, even now, believe it or not, it's still too early to say because the ebb and the flow of the game, every game's got its ebbs and flows. You'll see some guys step out there, but again, based on how the game is going, how the flow is going, is it hot? Do they get into long drives? Will all dictate into how quickly somebody comes in the game and how much they'll help us. But we've got 3 or 4 guys that could come up and step up and play a role on special teams or in the defensive scrimmage downs.